Hello and welcome to the next vlog of mine. Today's vlog is about the Beatles, the excursion that I went on in Liverpool, England. It took place August 7th and it is September 2nd, so it's almost been an entire month. Once again, I've been slacking. Whatever. So yeah, today we're gonna discover the secrets of the origins of the Beatles. Once again, if you want to reserve yourself a spot in a shore excursion of your own in a Royal Caribbean ship, go down in the description below and do so. Yeah, I would advise that if you went on any Royal Caribbean ship, go on an excursion. It is an amazing opportunity to explore in a different country or whatever. And yeah. So here we are in Liverpool. This is the tour we're about to leave. There's a Ferris wheel, that's pretty cool. And the first stop that we had on this tour was the Beatles Museum, which had free Wi-Fi, which I really enjoyed. And it looked really cool. I'm very proud of this shot, by the way. It's a panning shot and it goes over the British guitar and looks at the logo of the Beatles story in Liverpool. And yeah, it was a self-guided tour, so we had various speakers guide us through the entire museum. It was very nice. But yeah, we started off in the beginning, the Beatles were the Quarrymen. It was just the three of them with a few extra people that aren't really famous. It was George, John, and Paul in the beginning. And right here was George's first guitar. That's pretty cool, I guess. George Harrison's first guitar. Then we moved along and then we kind of got the beginnings of their careers as a band in Liverpool, in the beginning when they were still the Quarrymen. Maybe they made their transition. And then this is a recreation of, I guess, a newspaper that they made when they were in school called the Mersey Beat, which kind of like advertised their band, I think. And then I guess this is a recreation of the guitar store they went to when they were in Liverpool. And Matthew Street is like where they hung out and did their first few gigs. The Grapes is another recreation of a venue I'm sure that they went to. It was a very interesting recreation. There I am. This is me cameo. Wait, I'm wearing the same outfit. This was not on purpose. But yeah, this is an entire recreation of the famous Cavern nightclub, which to my understanding is very accurate to the real life Cavern nightclub bar place. And there's their stand. And there I am again. I'm right there, wearing the same outfit as I am today. Anyway, it was cool. Then we went into this part of the tour, which is NEMS. I'm gonna push the door open. What is this? And yeah, I am showing you the whole museum because why not? This is a record store. This is Brian Epstein. That's his jacket. He was their manager. He was very nice until he died. And then Abbey Road, I think that's kind of where they first started recording their first things. And then here's a recreation of their studio. Pretty cool stuff. This is where they recorded Help, I assume. And then this part is confusing. From an editing standpoint, I don't really know what's going on. It's kind of like Funhouse, but this is like the representation of Beatles mania. This is when they first started taking off. So you can hear screaming girls everywhere. And then this is their transition from England to America. So this is them leaving, getting off the plane into America, And here's their whole American part of the tour. They went on the Ed Sullivan Show a few times, became very popular, and then this is the part of the psychedelic crazy stage. Here's the grave of Eleanor Rigby, who is not a real person. I love that song, by the way. It's a great song. And then this Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. I don't know if it's their real outfits, but it looks cool. And then yeah, they had the Magical Mystery Tour bus. And yeah, this is the Yellow Submarine. Pretty cool. I was very impressed that they managed to throw that into the tour. But they had like portholes with actual fish in them, which is a nice touch. And then there I am again, right there. And then they had toys and Legos, which was cool. I had no idea they made merch. I guess I really just walked through the whole museum, but this is like the end, the split And then after that, the Beatles are done, but we had these little like side corner exhibits for each Beatle individually. I think that's Ringo's drum set right there. Yeah, I forgot what the significance of John Lennon and Yoko Ono in bed together is. I think they got married in bed and then stayed there for like 5 days or something. It was some sort of like demonstration. I don't really know the significance. If you want to look it up, I can't. I don't have internet access. Anyway, so yeah, this is John Lennon's last piano, and on the wall right there, you can kind of see it, is all the songs written by Lennon and McCartney together. This is the John Lennon part of the exhibit. And then yeah, we kind of moved on, and then a recreation of the White Room from the Imagine music video, which was very, very cool. Yeah, it was surreal, honestly, seeing all the cool people. But yeah, this is the end. This is like the all the movies they made. They made a few movies. Hard Day's Night. And this is the end of the tour, obviously. And then, yeah, that was the end of the exhibit. And then I got a milkshake, chocolate milkshake. It was okay. So yeah, so that was the Liverpool Beatles Museum. It was very cool to experience all of that lore and history of the Beatles. Anyway, after that, we got on our bus and we went to another part of Liverpool, which was Penny Lane. If you are a fan of the Beatles, you know the Penny Lane song. I will not be playing any of those songs because I will be copyright stricken. No, thank you. Been there, done that. Anyway, for some reason, this camera, this one right here, doesn't like it when I record sometimes. So there were points on this tour when I was recording, and it just turned off at random points, which was very, very frustrating. So here's the footage I took of Penny Lane.
Actually unscrew it off the wall underneath.
That was it. That's all, actually. That was all of the footage. But I did manage to take a selfie. Boom. It's right there. Yeah. It was just a picture of the original sign. Penny Lane is just a street in Liverpool. And yeah. Stop falling. After Penny Lane, we went to a very cool spot, which just so happens to share the name of my favorite Beatles song, which is Strawberry Field. Dzz, forever. It's a real place, if you didn't know it. Back in the day, it used to be an orphanage. It just so happened that when John Lennon was living with his aunt on the other side of the property, he would jump the fence and go play with the orphans. He would get in trouble for that, because apparently he wasn't allowed to do that. I don't know why kids aren't allowed to play with other kids, but apparently it was like another world when he was there. So that song, Strawberry Fields Forever, is about this location. Obviously, the orphanage is gone now, so it is kind of just this Red Cross charity building, which is still cool nonetheless. But that orphanage, I think it burned down or something. But this is the property itself. It's kind of what I had in mind, but I thought it was going to be way bigger. And there was a Ukrainian peace monument. Hell yeah. No one, I think, is in my tree, which is a line from the song. And right next to that lyric is this little, like, pavilion monument thing of the Beatles. I don't really know what this is. And that was the original orphanage boarding house thing. And on the other side is the original Red Gate, which apparently was stolen like in the 90s, and the people that stole it had no idea about its significance to Beatles lore, and they just, you know, they were going to sell it for scrap metal, but that didn't happen, obviously, so they moved it to the back of the property. I don't know why you would do that, but yeah. This is where John Lennon grew up, in his aunt's house, and then this is where Paul McCartney grew up. A very nice property. We were not allowed to go inside, we just looked on the outside. But it was a very nice place nonetheless. Tons of tourists. Then we went back down Penny Lane. And then this is where Ringo grew up when he was a little kid. It's one of the properties. That's a fancy car down there. I think it's based off of a Beatles thing. And then there's this mural of Ringo Starr, and it does not look like him at all. And the tour guide is talking about his abusive father, which is not very fun. But nonetheless, that was my whole excursion. We saw, where Ringo, Paul, and John all grew up. Didn't go to George's childhood home, but that's because it was too far away and the bus could not get access to that road. Anyway, if you are a fan of the Beatles and you find yourself on a Royal Caribbean cruise in Liverpool, you should check out the In the Steps of the Beatles excursion. Highly recommend it for any Beatles fan or any fan of good music. It's a crazy excursion. I loved it. And yeah, very cool. Who's your favorite Beatles member? I don't know. They all seem kind of cool. That's it. Bye. The next vlog is going to have huskies in it. So that'll be interesting. What am I doing?